it's Kira and welcome to another vlog. It's currently about midday on Friday and I thought I would bring you along for the weekend because I do have a few fun things in store, one of which I'm particularly excited / nervous about, but you'll have to wait until Sunday to see the results of what is going on with that. But for now, like I said, it's Friday and today I'm just trying to get myself organised, which is a recurring theme in my life, but we'll just pretend that I manage to get myself in check sometimes because I feel like I say this in every vlog. But there is a specific reason for it this time. Like I said, it's Friday and it is, I think, the 17th of July, and on Monday, which is the 20th of July, the Reading Rush readathon starts. That is obviously a week-long readathon that I'm sure most of you will be aware of, and during that readathon I'm going to be trying to read 7 books in 7 days, which will mean a whole lot of reading and probably not much time for anything else. So this weekend I'm just trying to get ahead and get organised so that I don't have loads to do next week along with all of the reading. So this morning I've just been filming some sit-down videos and this afternoon I'm going to try and get started on editing them. But aside from that, I am also going to be trying to get ahead on some reading, which might seem like a strange statement given that I just said my entirety of next week is going to be spent trying to read 7 books in 7 days. However, the reason I'm trying to get this reading done is because I'm part of a couple of book clubs and I want to read the July books and make sure I don't leave them all until the end of the month. And so the July book for one of my book clubs, which is the Dark Academics book club, and I absolutely love this book club, is If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio, which I cannot wait to read. Like I said, this is the July pick for the Dark Academics book club, which is a book club that I host alongside 4 other incredible booktubers, all of whom will be linked down below because they are all incredible. And this is the book that we've chosen to read during July and I'm so excited to get into it. It's a very dark academia type book and it is all about murder, which is so classic for dark academia, but it's set in a very, very interesting setting at an acting school in a Shakespearean society. And that just sounds so intriguing, so I cannot wait to get into this one. And ideally, I would love if I could finish this one this weekend so that I have got it done and enjoyed it before I get into the reading rush next week. So that is the goal, and I'll probably be spending quite a bit of time reading. The text in this book doesn't look particularly big, but it does have just over 400 pages, so hopefully we can get through all, if not a good chunk of this one over the next few days. And then aside from the Dark Academics book club, I'm also hosting a Lord of the Rings read-along called the Fellowship of the Read-along, along with my amazing friend Lucy, who is one of the co-hosts of the Dark Academics book club, and again her channel will be linked down below, and we are hosting this Lord of the Rings read-along together. The read-along started on the 1st of July and it's going right up until the 14th of August, and we're doing a live show for each of the books. So the live show for the Fellowship of the Ring, which is of course the first book in the series, is going to be tonight on Lucy's channel. So I want to go back and reread a few chapters and passages from the Fellowship of the Ring today, just to freshen my mind and figure out some discussion points because I'm so excited for that one. I will of course, like I said, link Lucy's channel down below, so even if you don't manage to tune in live, it will of course stay up on her channel so you can go and see us chat all about all things to do with Lord of the Rings. So I've got quite a busy Friday ahead of me, but it is midday and I am so ready for some lunch. So I think I'm actually going to make myself a toastie, which might not sound particularly interesting, but I'm usually not a savoury lunch person. I'm usually a sweet tooth kind of person, but I really fancy I've got some seeded bread and I'm feeling like some vegan cheese, olives, spinach, maybe some tomatoey sauce, and then I might serve it with some popcorn just to have a little bit of sweetness as well. So let's do that and then get on with some of my jobs, my many jobs that I have to do this weekend. morning guys, and welcome to a very gloomy and rainy Saturday morning. I honestly cannot express how happy I was this morning to wake up and see that it was a very grey, dark, dramatic sky. There were raindrops on the window and there was wind in the trees, and honestly it just fills me with such an immediate sense of inner coziness, and I just absolutely love it. For the last few weeks, Jay and I have actually been sleeping with the curtains open, which I absolutely love because I feel like it just kind of like connects you a little bit more to nature and helps you to find more of a natural sleeping cycle, because I do feel like when you can wake up with the light and go to sleep with the natural light, it just kind of makes it a little bit easier to get up in the morning. And so particularly in summer when it's light from really early in the morning, I just think it's so nice to be able to wake up and without even having to get out of bed just see what the day is like outside. And this morning I just felt so cozy looking outside and seeing a rainy day, and I think partially that comes down to the fact that I am such a lover of autumn. And although we are very much still in summer, being that it is like mid-July, I just feel such a sense of excitement for autumn whenever we have a summer day that is kind of cold and gloomy and rainy, and it just fills me with such a sense of like excitement and anticipation for autumn. And I do love summer as well. Summer days are fabulous, but I just love these days where it feels absolutely like gloomy outside and you just feel like you have a free, like, get out of jail free card just to stay inside and get cozy, which is exactly what I'm planning to do today. I made a very minute start on If We Were Villains last night, and so far I'm definitely enjoying it. It seems like a very interesting concept because it starts off with our main character, who's called Oliver, basically meeting his parole officer, and he is sort of getting out of prison for what the blurb tells you is a murder that he may or may not have committed. And then his parole officer is basically trying to get him to finally say what happened 10 years ago. So you start with this very interesting knowledge that something very dramatic has already happened, and then you're gonna like get filled in as you go. And that is one of my favorite things about The Secret History as well. I feel like that book really sets you up with this sense of anticipation, for you know that a murder is going to take place, but you don't know how, why, or who is implicated in it, which is just such an interesting way to enter into a book. So I'm literally 25 pages in, so I've barely scratched the surface, but I'm certainly interested so far. And I'm also very interested to see how I feel about this book going into it, because we have our little group chat for the Dark Academics book club. And so myself, Lucy, Carolyn, Mary and Emma are always keeping each other updated with our progress on books, but especially our group books. And so far only 2 people have actually completed the July book so far. Lucy has completed it. She actually had read it ages ago but reread it just to refresh her mind on for the book club. And then also Carolyn just finished it last night, and their opinions on the book are very different. I won't go too far into it just because obviously you can watch the live show at the end of the month and see all of our thoughts in depth. But one of them really liked it and the other one wasn't keen at all, so I'm really interested to see what I think of it getting further into the book. But for now, like I said, it's Saturday morning and most of the day I'm just going to be spending getting cozy and reading, but I am just about to head out for a coffee with my stepdad and my sister, and I can't wait. I said coffee, but I'm going to get a chai latte and I am so excited.
Actions will be forgiven. You wear me down. My actions won't be forgiven. When we first met, a simple text. Lips perfume must Lips perfume must reminiscing about the night when we first met. Little by little you wear me down.
Guys, it's Sunday morning and I'm so upset because I just went to the bathroom to like brush my teeth and everything, and then I went back to the bedroom and Jay said I had to wait outside because he was doing a surprise, and then eventually he let me come back inside, and the surprise was that he has electrical taped my entire phone. What the hell? Why would he do that? I honestly just don't even know where to begin. I can't find an end.
My body never knows. Keep dancing with the devil, but he doesn't love me back. My body never knows.
So, that's how my Sunday's going. What about you? But for real, I am actually very, very excited about my plans for today, and I will keep you updated as they happen.
Dancing with the devil, but he doesn't love me back. Keep dancing with the devil, but he doesn't love me back. You know my body.
straight back in pyjamas, obviously, because they're just so comfortable, and who doesn't want to be comfortable? I'm literally like the sort of person that gets home, strips off out of my jeans and t-shirts or whatever it is that I'm wearing and puts pyjamas on straight away because they're just so much more comfortable. So I obviously got a haircut and I'm just feeling like a whole new person, and I love it. It has been a really long time since my last haircut, and it was so overdue. I believe the last time I got my haircut was in November of 2018, so it has been nearly 2 years since my last haircut, which was very much overdue. My hair did seem relatively healthy until maybe about like 4-ish months ago, because I don't really ever use heat on it, which means that it doesn't get as dead or split endy as it used to do when I straightened it every single day. But even so, I was really pushing it and desperately needed a haircut, and so I got one as soon as I could once lockdown started to be lifted a little bit and hairdressers were allowed to open again, and I'm honestly just so obsessed. It just feels so fresh and lovely, which I'm so happy about. But I feel like this has been the first time I've ever left the hairdresser with longer hair than I went in with, technically, because I obviously went in with curly hair, and because of like the coils from your curls, it kind of pulls up the length, so you don't really know exactly how long it is. But then I came out with straight hair, and so it kind of looked longer, even though I have actually had an inch or two taken off of the length. But I'm really loving it because it just feels so fresh and lovely and light, and I'm just so happy that I finally got it done. So I'm really interested to see what it looks like when it is curly, because obviously I got it straightened by the hairdresser because they just straighten it like no one else can, and it just feels so smooth and lovely, so I didn't want to pass up that opportunity. But I did get some layers put in just to try and like make it curly all the way up instead of just at the ends, and so when I wash it in a couple of days, I'm really excited to see like what it actually looks like. And I also got a little bit of a like fringe thing going on, which I'm also loving. So this was my main plan for the weekend, and I'm so happy with how it turned out because it just feels so much healthier and I just love it. So it's Sunday evening now, and I'm about to go and make some dinner. I have a vegan pizza waiting for me, which I'm very excited about, and I'm also going to be spending the rest of the evening doing some reading. So hopefully I can make it through a good chunk of If We Were Villains later on this evening, but I think my hopes of finishing that book this weekend have been dashed just a tad because I'm only about 50 pages in and it's already Sunday evening. So we'll see how far we get, but I'm just hoping to make my way through a good chunk, hopefully. So funnily enough, as you know, the reading rush starts tomorrow, and one of the prompts is to read a book which was inspired by a film that you've already seen, and the film that I chose, or the book that I chose, was The Body by Stephen King, which is based on Stand By Me, which is one of my all-time favourites. I think it is such a good film, and funnily enough it's on TV this evening, so all plans are out of the window and I'm just going to be watching this. So I have made it to page 150 of If We Were Villains, and I can say wholeheartedly that I am very invested in this book. It's written in such an interesting way, and I think the writing style is definitely what's compelling me the most. like I've mentioned, this is a book which is based a lot around Shakespeare, and it's a group of acting students who are only performing Shakespeare, and they interweave a lot of Shakespearean quotes into their everyday language, which of course makes it very interesting. And then we have actual genuine bits of Shakespeare plays as well interwoven as part of their performances. But as well as being about Shakespeare and Shakespeare forming a large part of the text, just the structure of the book is very much focused on Shakespearean sort of structures and ideas. And so rather than being split into parts, this book is split into 5 acts like you'd have in every Shakespeare play. And then rather than chapters in each of those acts, we have scenes. And as I mentioned at the very, very beginning when I was talking about this book and my immediate thoughts on it, the book has a prologue which lets you know that a murder has taken place, and then we're going to kind of like get filled in throughout the rest of the book. What I didn't realise was that there was going to be a prologue section of each act. So I'm now midway through Act 2, and there is a little snippet of the prologue in every single one of those 5 acts. And so you get that prologue, which is essentially the present day narrative. And then once you delve into the scenes, that is where you're getting the background information. So each act we kind of have that opportunity to check back in with the present day characters and see how they're interacting with this historical information about how and why the murder took place. And so it's a really, really interesting way to do that, because I do find prologues really interesting, but this one is actually the only time I've ever seen a prologue be used multiple times throughout a book. And I think in this context it's really, really effective. I'm also just loving the writing style because it's Shakespearean, and therefore it is very, very dramatic and theatrical. And I'm just loving the way certain things are described. There was one description which I particularly liked, which was in scene 12 of Act 1, and it says, "Halloween approached like a tiger in the night with a soft rumble of warning." And I just love that imagery. I feel like it's just so theatrical and absolutely wonderful, so I'm really liking it. It's a very dark and gloomy text, and I'm absolutely loving it. The characters are all kind of not very likable. They all have a lot of flaws, and yet they're really, really compelling, and I'm just really intrigued to see how it's all going to play out, because at this point I still don't know exactly where it's going to go. However, it is Sunday evening, and as I've mentioned, the reading rush starts tomorrow, and very, very sadly this book is not actually on my reading rush TBR. So despite being 150 pages into this book right now, I'm going to have to put that one to one side for the time being, and in the morning I'll be starting my reading rush TBR, and I'm trying to read 7 books in 7 days. However, I am potentially naively very, very confident about how quickly I'm going to be able to get through my TBR, because I'm really excited about all of those books and also don't really have many plans throughout the week. So if by some miracle I do manage to read all 7 of those books before the end of the week, I'll be getting straight back into this, and so of course it might feature in one of my reading rush vlogs. But for now, I'm just going to settle in for the evening, try and get a good night's sleep, ready for a week full of lots and lots of reading. So although I didn't quite meet my goal of finishing this book this weekend, I feel like I have had a pretty good weekend. I of course got my new haircut, baked some banana bread, and I did make a decent start on this book, and I'm really, really enjoying it. So that will bring this reading vlog to an end. I hope you've enjoyed seeing my hair transformation and hearing my thoughts on If We Were Villains. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.